The nice folks at the Plastic Soldier Company have sent me their new Cold War Soviet Infantry box set to have a look at. Here's the front of the box with some nice artwork. It says the set has 141 figures. That's enough to build a full motor rifle company with 3 platoons and a HQ. If we have a look at the back, there's a picture of the 2 different types of sprues in the kit, the infantry sprue and the weapons sprue. It says the pack includes RPGs, snipers and radio operators, as well as 3 SA-7 Grail AA missiles, 3 AT-4 Spigot anti-tank missiles, 3 AT-3 Sagger anti-tank missiles, and 3 AGS-17 automatic grenade launchers. That's a pretty comprehensive list. Let's have a look inside. There are 12 sprues in the box. 9 of them are these infantry sprues. These have a mix of kneeling, standing and advancing rifleman figures armed with AK-74 assault rifles. They are AK-74s, also known as the AKM. You can recognise this because the length of the barrel forward of the front sight. One of the advancing riflemen has an underbarrel grenade launcher. It's a bit hard to spot, but one of the advancing figures has a small boxy protrusion under his rifle. The rifleman figures also have a gesturing figure suitable for an officer or NCO. One of the advancing figures is holding an RPK-74, a light machine gun version of the standard assault rifle. It has a longer barrel and can use an extended 45-round box magazine. The RPK is used in Soviet infantry squads as a squad automatic weapon. It has a heavier barrel for extended fire and has an integral bipod. The infantry sprue also has a PKM gunner. The PKM is a general-purpose machine gun that fires the heavier 7.62 by 54mm rimmed cartridge. Its role was to provide heavier fire support, and these were organised into a separate weapons platoon, so these figures aren't part of a normal rifle platoon. The last figure here is a kneeling grenadier armed with an RPG-7 rocket-propelled grenade launcher. This is an infantry anti-tank weapon issued to the rifle platoons. Rifle platoons were also issued the RPG-18 short-range light anti-tank rocket, similar to the American M72 Laws rocket. None of the figures are modelled with these, but one of the riflemen has a backpack for extra RPG-7 rounds. So that's it for that sprue. Let's look at the weapon sprue. There are 3 of these included in the box set. Each weapon sprue has some riflemen, 3 kneeling figures. There's also a sniper equipped with a Dragunov SVD sniper rifle. This is a long-barrel semi-automatic sniper rifle chambered in the same 7.62 by 54mm rimmed cartridge as the PKM machine gun. Interestingly, the SVD was a platoon-level support weapon, with each platoon of a motor rifle company having one of these weapons. Next up is a radio man and an anti-air gunner with an SA-7 Grail or SA-14 Gremlin missile. Anti-air assets were not normally organic at platoon or company level, but battalion assets attached to a company as needed. Similarly, anti-tank missile weapons were not organic elements of a BMP motor rifle company. The sprue has an AT-4 Spigot launcher and a prone gunner. The AT-4 was introduced in 1970 and is based on the technology of the Milan missile. It's the lighter infantry version of the AT-5 Spandrel missile. On the same part of the sprue is an officer figure. The weapon sprue also contains the earlier AT-3 Sagger anti-tank missile. This is the small missile which was mounted and fired from its carry case, and the gunner has a periscope sight to steer the manually guided missile to its target with a joystick. The AT-3 entered service in 1963 and was used to great effect in the 1973 Yom Kippur War. It continued to be modernised and the system is still in service today, with examples being currently used in Syria. Having both the AT-3 and AT-4 systems in the box set means it has options to cover early and late Cold War forces. The last weapon here is the AGS-17 30mm automatic grenade launcher. This is a boxy weapon with a stubby barrel mounted on a tripod. It's an infantry heavy support weapon that fires grenades from a belt in a circular magazine. It can be used in direct fire, or as an indirect fire weapon operating a bit like a mortar. Entering service in 1969, this weapon saw service in Afghanistan and was reportedly well liked by the troops. So that's all the figures. They're in hard grey plastic and the sculpts seem crisp and well detailed. Weapon types are typical for the Cold War organisation of BMP and BTR motor rifle companies. Having enough figures for a full company is nice, and the box includes support weapon attachments like the anti-air, anti-tank missiles and grenade launchers that were not part of the motor rifle company's organic table of organisation. However, I do notice that the variety of sculpts are a bit limited. Given there are only 2 different sprues here, this is to be expected. There is some variety amongst the riflemen to mix things up a bit, but every RPK and PKM gunner, SVD sniper and RPG-7 gunner is in a single pose. This means infantry stands might look a bit samey, but limiting the tooling to only 2 sprue types must keep the production costs down. Not a deal breaker, but something to be aware of when you're choosing figures for basing. The figures are also realistically proportioned. This means you might find them a bit slender and slightly smaller than more heroic sculpts from other manufacturers. But this is a fantastic box set, and the first Cold War infantry set from the Plastic Soldier Company. They're designed for the upcoming Battle Group Northag Cold War rulebook due later this year, but the figures are compatible with any other Cold War 15mm system. Thanks to the Plastic Soldier Company for supplying this review copy.